like OO and the others, the PS has gone through the various agencies which fall under the subsector of ICT and national guidance. The staff members of this ministry and the agencies, and the members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Let me start by welcoming you to the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. Sometimes people say, I want you to feel at home, but I'm not sure how your homes are. So I say, feel at ICT and National Guidance offices here, because I'm sure here we are quite peaceful and very stable. So I take the opportunity to welcome all of you. Maybe for some of you to at short notice. And thank you for turning up to break the fast. We are the vice chair of the committee who is just coming from Parliament, and I guess he's a Christian. So he was reminding us in the committee that all members are invited to come and break fast the dinner. Because it was breaking the fast, so it confused him. So I thank you for having come to break the fast as we take the dinner. So for him, was combining, said the breakfast dinner. So I welcome you to the breakfast dinner. Breaking the dinner to break the fast. Thank you for coming from your various offices to be here with us. I am advised at 8:30, the Muslim will be going for prayers. So that guides me to be very brief in my remark. We are in the month of Ramadan, where our brothers and sisters of the Muslim faith are fasting for 30 days. But also even us who are Christians, it is the season of Lent, which usually takes 40 days. That signifies the period Jesus went through suffering before he met his death and then eventually resurrection. So basically, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, we are all in the fasting season. But I want to salute you and commend you. At the last dinner we had last year, I made these comments and I will repeat them at the risk of annoying Christians and at the risk of being labeled blasphemous. That at the personal level, I do respect the Muslims, and I said that time for two things, among many. The first one is that the Muslims do not hide their faith by the way you dress, the way you behave in public. One can say this one is a Muslim and you are not ashamed of it. Not that Christians get ashamed of Christianity, but at least the way you dress, like when you meet the PS, you will know she's a Muslim. And why I say this, one time we were in a restaurant in Kitale. I am a Catholic by faith. Catholics, when we are going to eat, you make a sign of the cross, which also shows that you are a Catholic and it distinguishes you from an Anglican and other Christians. Now we're in a restaurant, this man came, ordered for food, and I think his heart gave him a desire to pray before eating, as our faith commands. But again, when he looked around, I think he didn't want to show that he's a Catholic. So instead of making the sign of the cross like this with the hand, he made it with the foot on the ground. So now the question was, why is he uncomfortable making the sign of the cross? Because being a Catholic or a Christian is not a crime. So on that front, I say Muslims clearly identify themselves as Muslims wherever they go. Then secondly, I also said, and I still say, that you have a sense of deep spirituality. I am not necessarily comparing you with Christians, but they're going to say, at this time, it's time for prayers. Muslims will go for prayers. I have one of my drivers who is a Muslim. When we are traveling, I give him freedom of worship and faith. When it is time for prayer, I say, you stop the convoy, let him first pray. And he prays, and then we continue. Again, I was telling my colleague minister that Catholics, for instance, during the season of Lent, they fast, but particularly on Wednesdays and Fridays, you are not supposed to take meat, except the fish and chicken, but the other meat. One day I attended a funeral in Ntungamo. They don't have to put me in trouble. And the priest had ordered that there is no meat that day because it was a Friday. By the way, people quarreled. On that day, people were quarreling. Some even refused to attend the funeral. Some of them were putting on rosaries, they were Catholics. I said, but just one day. So comparing with, say, Muslims, there is a sense of deep spirituality and observing the dictates of the faith. And on those two counts, I want to salute you and thank you. And thank you. The NRM government believes and promotes freedom of worship. Freedom of worship. At one point, at one time, there were conflicts between the state and the different forms of faith. And at times people would hide to identify themselves as a Christian, or as Muslim, or as a Pentecostal, and so forth, because there were tensions between the state and the believers. But it was also more pronounced in some other countries. In some other countries, not Uganda. Let me give you an example. In the DRC, if you read the history, in the early 70s, the president then, Seseko Mobutu, decreed that no one is allowed or supposed to baptize a child, especially for Christians. And if you baptize somebody, it will be a crime. Even decreed that all Christians should drop their Christian names. That's when even he himself, he dropped his own Christian names and became Seseko Mobutu Tukugibenu Wazabanga. And the others who were Joseph, who were James, who were Chris, you had to drop. And I can tell you since then, that country has never stabilized. The lesson we draw from that is that the state government should work closely with the faith-based institutions for that country to be prosperous, for that country to have unity, stability, and to move forward. So for us in the NRM government, we believe in freedom of worship. Ugandans are free to belong to different religious denominations. That's why we have Muslims free to live in the country, Christians free to be in the country, other forms of religions, provided you don't break the law, to be free, but all of us unite as Ugandans and we take the country forward. So do not be ashamed of your faith, because the NRM government believes in freedom of worship. And we must respect each other in all ways. We have taken some proactive policy positions. For instance, the cabinet. The laws say the minister shall appoint a board of an institution. And we have a standing regulation that when you are appointing a board, you take it to cabinet for approval. But once you don't balance religion, that board will not go through. Like you make a board of 7 people and all of them are Christians. The concern will come, not even from Muslims, But some will say, but why are there no Muslims in this board? So we are conscious that when we are forming a body, whichever body you are forming, you have to balance many interests, and one of the interests is faith, religion, and of course regional balancing, then the gender, and many other constellations. Because Uganda belongs to all of us, and all of us must participate in the governing and running this country. So today is a day hosted by you, sisters and brothers of the Muslim faith, and we want to salute you and wish you all the best as we continue the journey of fasting for 30 days. I think we're now 10 days on the calendar. We have 20 days to go. We want to wish you God's blessings, good health, so that we reach that day when we conclude the fast. So thank you very much. Thank you for coming. I don't want to say that the doors of this ministry are open. We have no doors for you. Always feel free to come and check on us. For those of you who are outside the ministry, the workers of the ministry, well done. We thank you for the good work that you are doing. Yes, you can clap on that. And continue to be reassured that you have the support of the top leadership of the ministry. Thank you. May God bless all of you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Haj Chris Bariomusi.